What's good, everybody? It's your man Big Dom coming live now to another True Players Podcast episode, of course, with my bro JoeyG joining us on this episode of the podcast. Um, JoeyG, introduce yourself to the people.
Good. This is your man Joey G, back at it again. Your host of the True Players Podcast, your co-host to Talking Random Ish, man Ricky King, your co-host to the True Players Podcast. We're good to be back. What's good?
Definitely, no Reese, we about to get on this right away. Talk about some stuff. Talk about the Super Bowl. I know it's Super Bowl happened on Sunday, so we gave some people
Mm,
some time, a couple of days to get their opinions out there and
hmm
things like that. And including and a very interesting halftime performance by Kendrick Lamar, which
mm,
probably raised a lot of eyebrows and stuff like that. Some people didn't agree with his performance. I thought it was a good performance, me personally. But I just think that there's certain people of different how could I say this groups didn't understand it and said it was whack. It didn't make no sense. You know, what's your thoughts on that?
uh, to me, it was a great halftime performance. Um, it showcased everything that he has done till now,
Hmm.
and being present in the moment of what was one of the greatest releases he had. Starting a beef, inciting a beef, if you will,
Hmm.
and basically finishing it off at the Super Bowl. It capped off everything that he's done. I kind of like that. I liked it. I don't care what other people have said. It showcased his talent. It's like art, subjective. You wouldn't understand it unless you had a taste for it. So it, that's where I leave it at that. As far as people's commentary on what they liked and disliked about the halftime performance.
Got you. But let's get to the game because I was rooting for Philly
Mm,
because partly because I got a large contingent of family members in Philadelphia, so
mm,
it's like my second city. So I had to root for Philadelphia. Plus, I like Saquon Barkley as a player, as a person. I felt that he changed the landscape of the entire NFC East. He changed the landscape of the Philadelphia Eagles. He changed the landscape of the Giants by leaving them for a better contract that another team was Philadelphia actually offered him. And I'm quite sure the owner of the New York Giants is probably having sleepless nights right now, knowing that he had this man on his team
right.
and couldn't offer him a good enough contract to keep him on the team. And you watch the same
Mm,
player that you had for 3 years,
right.
3, 4 years, go on to win a Super Bowl in your division with your division rival.
True.
I know it's tough. It's tough. It's tough to believe, but like I said, it is what it is. Yes, we play sports. Yes,
Hmm
it's professional sports, but it's also a business. So you got to make the best business decision for yourself and go from there. And Saquon surely did. Now he can say with confidence he was a Super Bowl champion.
hmm
So that's the best prestige you could ever have as a player is winning a championship. There's a few
Definitely.
players from the former New York Jet players who also was on that team. One was actually a bust
Mm,
offensive lineman. He ends
right.
up starting at guard, played almost every single game this season, and he got a
Mm,
Super Bowl ring. So it all goes to coaching. But by the same token, I was glad because I mean personally, I got tired of the Kansas City Chiefs. I got tired
hmm
of the referees constantly helping them in the games, whether it's in the regular season or in playoffs. I got tired of
hmm
all of that. But I mean, I'm a fan of Patrick Mahomes because his dad played for the Mets for 2 years, so I got a
Okay.
soft heart for him, the
hmm
quarterback. But he did not play well in the Super Bowl. I
No.
guess they figured him out during that game. And the Phillies, the Eagles was on a mission.
Yeah.
They were on the way to beat those boys down. No matter they were on a mission beating anybody who they saw in the Super Bowl. They're going to beat them down,
Right.
and that's what happened. So what was your thoughts on the game?
I love the game. The game was very competitive in the beginning, and then Eagles showed their true colors. I mean, they came out very dominant,
Hmm.
very dominant. I watched them a little bit on and off season for the last couple, about 3 years,
Hmm.
and I kept tabs on them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this year, it seemed like they had something, and I didn't know if it was one of those things where it was like, what do you call that, like a fad or something, like you're just jumping on the bandwagon. It wasn't that case. Like I seen there was something in them, and
Mm-hmm.
it seemed to be if they kept up with consistency and kept up uh, doing what they needed to do to get to the end zone, they wouldn't have no issue when it came to the Super Bowl. And it's great that they have like a almost like a redemption coming back to the Super Bowl and winning. So I'm all for that. I love the underdogs in the situation.
Got you. But they weren't really underdogs. They were actually even in the betting. They weren't really super underdogs
In past, in
in the
past,
past.
yeah, in past. Like yes, they were a name to mention in the Super Bowl runnings, but everybody wanted Kansas City to win. Those that were fans of Kansas City was like, oh, they're gonna do it again. They're gonna three-peat. Like I got randomly stopped by somebody at the bus stop talking about the Chiefs. Like, don't even put your money on the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're not gonna win the Super Bowl. And I can almost bet you he's eating crow right now. But
Hmm. But check it though. The last two times the Chiefs lost in the Super Bowl, they lost to a team who had a very good running back. Okay,
mm,
when they lost to the Tampa Bay Bucks with Tom Brady, I believe that was his last season.
right.
They had the Tampa Bay Bucks had Leonard Fournette. They had a pretty very good running game.
Hmm.
So, and now you have Saquon Barkley. Now the Kansas City defense can't sit back and blitz all day long because knowing that you have a running back that can run the football, that catch the ball out of the backfield, and
Hmm.
that took away Spagnuolo's typical strategy when it comes to playing defense.
Right.
So that's what I saw in that game, and they really sold out for the run, and
Hmm.
Jalenhurts, the MVP of the Super Bowl, was throwing touchdowns all over the place. The AJ Brown got some good catches. The other receiver had some great catches. Which the Goddard had some big catches in that game. The tight end, and they even was using Saquon Barkley in the passing game more than they. I won't say he used him more, but he was involved in the passing game. He couldn't run the football because he was dealing with 8-man, 9-man boxes, but he could
Right.
definitely come out the backfield and catch the football.
Right.
So, I mean, I get it. People was rooting for Kansas City. Even the commentators like root for a three-peat because it has not been a three-peat in a long time.
Mm.
So they were rooting for that. And I'm just glad that we don't have to worry about Taylor Swift. You saw the cameras pan to Taylor Swift crying and stuff like that. I was like, man, listen, we don't need all that. Keep the focus on the football game.
Right.
If you want to have Taylor Swift cameras pan to her, have her do a halftime show. That's all
Mm.
I'm saying. But other than that, nothing against Taylor Swift, but keep the focus on the players and the entertainment in the game, not the significant others. That's all.
Right. Well, another thing too, when you're talking about Taylor Swift, like there was probably other celebrities there. I don't understand whether it was an over fascination for her being in the stadium, but that's just me. I understand you got a player on the team that you're involved with and all of that. That's cool,
Hmm.
but yay. Moving on.
Moving on, and we moved on, and
Right.
that this could have been Travis Kelce's final game as a professional NFL player. We don't know
Mm.
yet. We don't know what his decision is going to be, whether he's going to come back next season.
Oh
But
wow.
yeah, he could be retiring. So he played a long time.
Mm.
Future Hall of Famer, All Pro
Mm.
tight end, future Hall of Famer, great
Mm.
player at the position. Um, what else can we say? What could I want to speak about the game? Because we started a little bit on the halftime show. Because I think the halftime show pretty much overshadowed the football game, to say the least. Starting
It
from
did.
start, starting from Samuel Jackson wearing Uncle
Hmm.
Sam
Hmm.
costume. You
Hmm.
had Serena Williams, Crip walking.
Hmm.
You had a performance. Scissor joined them
Hmm.
on the halftime show. Scissor got a beautiful voice, though. I must say, she got a beautiful voice. She got a
I have
range.
to agree.
Yeah. So yeah, let's continue on the halftime show because the reason why I want to continue on the halftime show because a lot of people said they did not like the performance because it was another black man attacking another black man. on live TV. Um,
Mhm.
I'm gonna address that because I feel it has to be addressed. Um, we can't pick and choose when it's okay not to attack another black man and when to black attack another black man. If you truly believe that, then violence, black and black crime would stop. If you truly believe
Right,
that, these are just words. We
right,
still our people still out there killing each other with weapons. So we
right.
can't. If you're gonna speak that way about a halftime performance, let's say that same thing in the streets also. That's
Mhm,
what I'm saying about the situation. But everyone's entitled to their opinion. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
So your thoughts on it, bro?
I mean, if we're gonna go that route, right? There's a whole
Hmm.
bunch of people watching Twitter feeds and uh, what is it, TikTok videos of people getting into fights and students fighting other students. Ain't nobody talking about that. Everybody has a camera where they're either taping it or they're behind the camera watching it. So you're not really saying anything of importance right now when it comes to that. It's competitive.
Hmm.
They're not throwing punches at each other. There's
Hmm.
no violence on one another. Right now,
Hmm.
it's still a verbal lashing. He,
Hmm.
apparently one person has taken the L,
Hmm.
and that's where we hope to keep it. It's entertainment purposes all around.
All around.
All around is entertainment. So let's keep that motivation as far as understanding that it's just entertainment. This is not happening in on the block. This is
Hmm.
not happening in the hood. This is not happening. Come on, relax, relax. Y'all gaslighting the situation anyway. If you were on the street and you were watching this fight, you're sitting there antagonizing the situation, wanting it to go further. So
Right.
stop it.
Keep in mind one thing: hip hop was born off rap battle.
Right,
MC Shan, KRS One
right.
to start. Let's go there.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So did it ever get physical? Did it ever get to a shootout? No. It just everything was on wax. The way it's
Right.
supposed to be. The way it's supposed to be. Some rappers take it too far, and
Mm.
some rappers do take it too far. Um, the thing with the Tupac and Biggie, that was taken way, way, way too far. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Um, Now we got a situation. We got the situation with 50 and Rick Ross and all that situation. I'm not gonna talk about that situation. I feel I'm gonna keep myself out of that situation because I don't know the details, nor do I want to know the details.
Right.
Keep myself out of it. I just thought I mentioned it. So
I'll just say this. I'll say that this on that situation. If somebody's helping you get money,
hmm
be loyal to that person.
hmm
I mean, cut and dry as possibly could be.
my father's favorite rule, favorite law in my father's life: a favor for a favor.
Period.
You don't bite the hand that feeds you and expect to be cool, to be cozy. The hand that you bit is gonna take that same hand that you bit and bitch slap you across the face many times over.
Hmm.
So you got to be careful. You got to be great. You got to have some. You have genuine gratitude.
Yes.
Genuine gratitude. Um, because you don't know where you would be without that money. The
Hmm.
stories that I'm hearing that 50 put his son in school, through school or college or something like that.
Oh wow.
That's what I looked over on YouTube.
Hmm.
Someone said that on YouTube, but who's telling the truth on YouTube anyway? It's
Right.
all about clicks and all that shit. And just so you know, guys, True Players Podcast is never going to clickbait you. Never. We speak about facts and our opinions, which don't hold that up to us. It's strictly the opinion of us on this show. And yeah, but let's get back. Let's get back to the symbolism in that whole halftime show because the president was there at the
Hmm.
Super Bowl and it was done in front of him. Did you notice? Do you think he caught the message through that performance?
If he didn't catch it, somebody who's savvy could explain it to him.
Hmm.
Somebody who's savvy can explain it to him. He does have a staff. I'm going to say this year, this presidential term, he has a staff around him that's knowledgeable. It's more knowledgeable, and they're more grounded as far as understanding what's going on in socially. They understand what's going on socially.
Mm-hmm.
The whole president's demeanor from his first term till now, there's been a big change. I've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the way he speaks behind the camera, when he's presenting, his movements, his mannerisms. I don't know what's going on behind the scene, but there's it seems like he's not the Trump we knew last term. He's a different uh, version.
I'm not gonna. This is not the podcast episode to speak on that,
Mhm.
but this is not Trump.
Not the Trump we know, no.
No, no. Someone is pulling the strings back there. Pulling the strings. What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that saying? The Age of Ultron. The strings without me. Whatever that shit he was singing. Ultron was singing.
I have strings. That was from Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
That was from Pinocchio.
So yeah, that's my thought on that situation because I feel like I said, I have to be in the interest of protecting my employment. I must be careful about what I say about certain things.
Mhm.
Nevertheless, I
It
know
seems that
we
I have the I've been put in the same position
mhm,
based on my last employment and current to be employment. I'm
mhm,
gonna learn. I have to learn how to navigate um, in the realm of conversation where I have to dodge these things and not be fully opinionated about them. But
but
I'll
mhm,
do my best to be objective and give you perspective from my point of view. It will be an opinion, and it won't be off the piggyback of who I'm around and where I work and none of that. It's straight coming from me, um, my opinion on situations, and I'll try to be sensitive to all parties involved when communicating about these various topics.
I'm gonna say one thing. All right, I'm gonna say one thing. If I was president, no one will be speaking in the Oval Office who is not an American citizen, and I'll leave it just there, unless they're visiting on tour of the White House. I'm just saying. If I was president, that would not happen.
I'm trying to think if I've ever heard anybody that was a prime minister or visiting dignitary that was in the Oval Office that was given a voice to speak on camera.
That raised a lot of alarms for me. But on that note, we're gonna move on from that. On that note,
Okay.
respectfully, yes. Let's talk about Serena's dance moves. At first I didn't recognize Serena's dance moves doing her
Mhm.
crip walk on that shit. I thought it was kind of cute. Kind of cute she was doing it. I
That's
know
the second time she's done it.
she did the full thing, the full
Hmm.
thing,
Right.
and I seen some pictures of Serena like a couple of months ago that looked like she was bleaching her skin and all that stuff, but she looked good. She looked
Right.
good on that screen. And where was and she's from Compton, so anybody who understands why she did the crip walk. She's from Compton, so
Mm.
Kendrick Lamar is from Compton, so you already know the connection there. But a lot of people were saying, that yeah, she should date Drake, and why would she do that? Go on there and do that to Drake. I was like, I totally forgot they did it. To be honest with you, I totally forgot about that.
Right.
But like I said, everybody's digging deeper than what it really is. It's just hip hop, rap
Yeah.
battle. That's all it is.
Entertainment for the Super
That's
Bowl.
all it is. But I think also the issues with the litigation that's possibly could ensue after the performance is what everyone is making it bigger than making it seem bigger than what it really is. For me, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? You know,
But
sometimes it's best.
controversy brings numbers, though.
It sure did, and it brought a lot of attention to that Super Bowl too.
Right. So it was a win.
hmm But on and on, with despite that, he did a greater performance. He brought
Yeah.
the Bloods and Crips together. I don't know if they were performing. They were in the performance part, but they brought the colors of the Crips and the Bloods in there.
Hmm.
Um, what was your thoughts on that? And did it signify the American flag by them? I remember I've seen something that it kind of the movement was that the American gave some symbols of the American flag. What was your thoughts on that?
Well, it dignifies us as the people who were the backbone of America, who helped build it.
Mm-hmm.
As melanated people,
Mm-hmm.
as the melanated people, we helped build this country.
Mm-hmm.
Boys in blue, firemen, the like all of us helped build this country. It's not just one.
Mm-hmm.
It takes colors to make this flag.
Mm-hmm.
It takes the colors to make this flag for us to be United States of America. There's more to it than just one sided. So we have to stop thinking like that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
one shouldn't be in control of all. It shouldn't be like that.
Mm-hmm.
We have diverse backgrounds. I think all of that was depicted in the Super Bowl as I watched it. It's art, so you're gonna see it many different ways. You're gonna interpret it many different ways. But what I saw was beautiful. It was a beautiful interpretation of his point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Somebody could give me another example of what they saw, but what I saw, I liked,
Mm-hmm.
and I was inspired to see what they're gonna do next year as far as the Super Bowl is concerned.
It pro-
Um,
it's probably gonna be a country singer on the Super Bowl next year.
well, country, it doesn't matter at this point. We've seen that Kendrick Lamar. This is not the first time he's come and wore his heart on his sleeves in his performance,
Mm-hmm.
and in a Tupac-ish way was blatant about it.
He wasn't as, but he wasn't upfront belligerent with it. He was very much
Right,
calculated and benevolent in his
right.
words and in his delivery. And having I said Uncle Sam, I said having Samuel Jackson.
But that's part of the symbolism. Him even wearing the chain, him wearing the chain with a lowercase a minor.
Amen. A minor.
I was just like, wow, a chain to A minor. I was like, wow.
Mm.
There's
So I
a
I
lot of things
definitely
going on. If you paid attention to it, if not, go back and watch it. There's a lot to dissect. There's a lot of people who've done good breakdowns on Twitter and TikTok and Facebook also. So you check it out on your spare time. I can't go into all of that.
definitely definitely. So now my question to you is
Mhm.
to this on the Super Bowl.
Okay.
You know, we saw the symbolism in the
Hmm.
Super Bowl.
Right.
Will will the delivery of the Super Bowl of the performance will it start to change? So for me, what I saw in the Super Bowl um, halftime show, I saw the ability of our people to unite.
Hmm.
Now the problem is when we do unite, it's only for a limited time only.
Hmm.
Can it be a unification where it can be sustained over a longer period of time?
Hmm.
That's the question.
Right.
We could all unite. We all did the Billion Man March. We united for
Hmm.
that. We people walked with Dr. Martin Luther King. They walked with Malcolm X.
Hmm.
They did that. But it's just now the problem is you need sustenance. You need stability. You need to substantially, you need to keep it going.
Mhm.
Don't stop. Keep it going. I know the fear is that the powers that be will try to sabotage in some way, shape, or form. But if you move discreetly and and succinctly, you can still continue the movement of unification. You still can do it, but you can't be loud about it. You gotta be slick about it.
Mhm.
Gotta be discreet about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because not everything the powers that be are doing is in your face now. Play the game that they were playing years ago when they were doing whatever they were doing behind the scenes, and we didn't see
Right.
it. We gotta change our mindset, and do the same thing. That's all I'm saying. This is what I
Mhm.
learned. That's all I learned from my papa. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was very big on discretion. Keep your mouth shut when you're
Mhm.
trying to win,
Right.
because the powers that be don't want you to win.
Mhm.
Period. So that was his biggest advice to me. I just really wish I listened to it a lot, but it is what it is. But more things off the Super Bowl. You know, great game. Kansas City did try to make a run at after halftime, but I believe it was too little, too late. My cousin Perp was telling me, yo, the Philadelphia Eagles got beat up by 31-0 by halftime in order for them to win the Super Bowl. He was almost right. They were up 24-0 at halftime.
Mhm.
Almost right. And guess what? They still won the Super Bowl. So now the end of the football season is ended. As we patiently wait 2 weeks from now for baseball.
Mm.
Now we got the Knicks going strong right now, bro. Going strong right
Yeah.
now. And to be honest with you, I was going to keep this. I was going to do a separate episode on this, but you know what? I'm just going to do it now.
Okay.
Good. I'm just going to do it now because I didn't write my notes the way I wanted to write my notes. But let's talk about the Knicks. They play against the Boston Celtics on Saturday. You and I both watched that game.
Yeah.
You know, then they came back and won against the Pacers and the Hawks. Last night they beat the Hawks. Tough overtime game. They won by 1 point. Jalen Brunson's doing his thing, doing big things as usual.
Right.
But my concern is with the New York Knicks is they played Boston twice
Mhm.
and lost both games by I believe by combined 77 points.
Oh wow.
They lost against the first game. The first game of the season, they lost. I believe they lost by almost by 40, almost by
Mhm.
40 points. And this past game, they lost to about 30 points in the end. They did make a run in that game, but when you're playing against a team like the Boston Celtics, the championship medal, you got to play at a different level because they're already
Definitely.
at that level. They're already at a championship level. You know what I'm saying? You got to ratchet up. Your best players got to step up.
Mm.
Cole Anthony Towns did not play well that game. I understand he has a hand injury or a finger injury, but if you're on
Right.
that court, you got to put your best foot forward like he did last night, scoring 44 points against the Hawks. Like he had a big game against the Pacers. Same thing applies. But my view as the New York Knicks is Mikal Bridges. They got to find a way to get him run offensive plays for him instead of having him run to the corner to shoot 3-pointers. This guy's much more talented than that just to do that. He's not
Mhm.
just a 3-and-D player. This guy can drop 24 points a game for you. Have him run some sets, run some offense through him.
Mm.
Other than that, he just looked like a better version of RJ Barrett who could play defense. He's RJ Barrett who could play defense. That's what
Mm.
they're turning him into. He's not that player.
Right.
Last year in Brooklyn, he dropped 25 points per game with Brooklyn last year.
Mm.
And I feel that if you get him to that level, you could even things up with Boston. You're not going to worry about the bench,
Right.
the New York Knicks. The bench is going to be a problem. And I felt trading away Dante DiFrancesco, they lost their grit by
Right.
trading him away. He was part of that grit of that team. Him and Josh Hart. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He was
I
part of
don't
that grit.
understand why they made that trade.
You had to give up something to get the play that you want, and they had to give him up to get Cat. Now, was there another way you could trade someone else to get Cat? Maybe, but there was always an issue with him. If when Mikal Bridges was brought here, he would have to come on. He would have to come off the bench.
Right.
They was concerned about his attitude. They were concerned about whether he could take that. You know, I'm sounding like Diddy right now. No Diddy, but anyway, they were concerned about whether he could handle that situation. And quite frankly, how he's playing in Minnesota showed that he couldn't handle it. He thought he arrived. He thought he should be a starter, and kind of affected him in his play with the Timberwolves. But the Knicks, they missed out on the opportunity to get some players to help that bench. Hopefully, when the buyouts happen and the players are clear to sign, they can probably get a player to fill in some holes for them. To help them help them get up close to Boston and Cleveland. Cleveland was just a matter of changing of coaches, and you could imagine the difference in coaching from last year to this year of the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's why they're the number one seed, in my opinion. It's the coaching, and they made some good trades too at the trading deadline as well. So, like I said, Knicks are playing great. 38, I believe 38-16. I believe 38-16. They're on their way to about, as we gear up, the All-Star game about to come up. So I'm really anxious. I think the All-Star game is this weekend. I mean, I'll double check that. Let me double check that right now. If that's the case, I would love to have Matthew back on the show to discuss that and what we need to do, the Knicks need to do to be better for the rest of the season. Because after the All-Star break, it is this weekend in San Fran. And again, they changed the freaking format of. No, they did. They changed the format of the All-Star game again. Oh boy, they play with things too much. Just leave it the way it is. But anyway, so you change that up. So I would love to have Matthew on the show. We're gonna have him back on the show to discuss what the Knicks need to do to overcome Boston, overcome Cleveland, because they're missing something on that team, and their schedule gets tougher in the second half of the season. So they're going to be in it for a long run. So, all right. So next thing I want to talk about is Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets are going to part ways. Okay. And sorry about that interruption, guys. Yeah. Aaron Glenn decided, and the general manager decided that they want to move on from Aaron Rodgers. I wish I did the recap of Aaron Glenn's press conference. I wish I did an episode on that. But Aaron Glenn said one thing. He's about team. He's not about an individual. He's about team. So Aaron Rodgers had asked, I believe, according to reports, is they asked Aaron Rodgers to stop being on Pat McAfee's show on ESPN. Stop leaking stuff out. Apparently, they said that he said no. And the powers that be of the New York Jets said, nah, we can't have you on the team. That in itself, it kind of bothered me because I felt that, boom, the Jets don't have a quarterback next season. They don't have a quarterback next season. They got players worried about going into a rebuild. But I felt it was the right decision because of the financials of the whole situation is, if the Jets don't cut them, let them play this year. They have to spread a cap hit of close to $90 million over the next couple of years. That could hinder them in the future of signing free agents. So it's better off cutting him now, take the hit for this year and next year, and then you have an opportunity to really build your team the way you want to build. But they got to draft right. They got to be savvy in free agency, be good on the cap, and go from there. I don't want the players to put their heads down. I feel the New York Jets are in great hands with Aaron Glenn, despite the millions of Jet fans who don't who seem to don't like the move,
Mhm.
but not looking at the big picture of the whole situation. Aaron Rodgers is 41 years old.
Right.
Okay, they're blaming the coach. They say the coach doesn't know what he's doing. Let me tell you something about what difference between this coach and Robert Salah and Adam Gase. This coach has been in the pressure cooker of New York. He played for the Jets for 8 years. He understands New York media. He
Right.
understands the atmosphere. For me, and he's been coached by some of the Hall of Fame coaches. Bill Parcells, who's a mentor to him up until now. I think this team is in good hands. I truly believe that.
Hmm.
They may not win this year. They may have a winning record this season. They may be 9-8 this season. Even with Tyrod Taylor or whatever quarterback they bring in, I believe this team could be 9-8 this next season.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I wish I, came prepared, but I would have spoke much more fluidly about this. But I just had to get this in because I couldn't hold it no more. I couldn't hold it for tomorrow's episode. I had to speak on it now. So Joey G, what is on your docket as far as the podcasting on before we end the podcast? What's your
We're gonna reboot beer combo and family. We're gonna talk more about the political stuff that's going on as far as Elon Musk behind the scene, Trump, his return, uh, back to relationships, um, a little bit of um, I'm trying to debate whether I should say it or not.
I
Um,
have refrained from taking some Jello shots, so I refrain from doing that for in the interest of me slipping up and saying something stupid. I have not taken a single Jello shot today. Okay,
mhm,
okay, carry on. I'm sorry.
not a problem. But we're gonna get more in depth as far as the conversations we have. Even talking about child support and things of that nature. We need to get back into those conversations because things have changed a little bit on all fronts. So
Big
it's
things.
time to
Big
talk
things.
about it. It's time to get different perspectives, get some people involved, and just come to a consensus. Really, um, your your boy ain't going nowhere. He's still here. He's still in good spirits. Um, he's just getting some things done on the outside that will benefit him in the long run of being support for his family. Period. Um, and that's what we're working on. As far as a podcast, I know it's been a minute. I've been promising to be online for a while now, but hey, you got priorities. I got a responsibility that's first, and I need to take care of that before I get anything else situated. Your boy's here, and I'm working behind the scenes to make sure when I do come back, I'm going to be running efficient. And you may see me on more episodes, not just mine, but other people's, just getting them up and running because I understand this game, and it's time that I make some money doing it. It's time that I made some money doing it because
That's
this is
what.
not just for show. What I do as far as on Beer Combo and Family is a living journal, a living testimony, if you will, something I could go back to and understand where I was to where I am right now. Something where my children could look at me and be like, "Oh shoot, he thought that way at one point, and he could change his mind." Oh, shows growth, and so people can understand me. If not understand me, understand themselves by being an example of somebody who's progressed. Period. That's what it's about for me. I'm not trying to be nothing other than who I am. I'm not trying to be a guru or love connector, doctor, whatever. I'm not trying to be none of that. I'm just trying to be me, showcase who I am, what I'm going through, my life journey. And along the way, you're going to be people that mean the most to me and who I value and respect. And if you've seen the past shows, tell me, stop me if I'm lying. Because everybody brought on the show, love and respect I have for them, regardless of situation, regardless of life. Still have it. And that's about it, bro.
Got you. True Players podcast. We gonna enter. I mentioned it so many times. Enter a change. Even me, I have to shift my way I conduct business on the True Players podcast. So that's inevitable. But in the interest of growing income in many phases or at many paths of income, we got to change the ways we conduct business. Um, Part of it is most important consistency. You got to be on it. You got to be in it to win it. You can't play bench and play. You just come off the bench and spell a guy for a day off. No, you got to be in the starting lineup, and that's what the True Players podcast. That's my dream of True Players podcast. Make sure it's on the starting lineup, not on the bench. And distractions happen, things happen, life happens, but we got to get back on that path of being the starting lineup of podcasting instead of being on the bench over what we've been doing over the past couple of months. So that's my change I'm going to do. It may be you make some new change, you make some changes in the intros as well to further match who's going to be on the show now. You're going to have me on the show. Of course, you're going to see my face on the intro, but according to certain shows, you may just see me on the intro now. So it's like, because it makes sense. You get what I'm saying? It makes sense. So whoever's on the show will be on the intro, same thing. But like I said, that doesn't mean they're not going to be in the intro. As far as I may throw some parts of other episodes that you may see them rolling on the intro, of course. 5-second cut. You know what I'm saying? So you will see that. Like I said, be true to yourself, have gratitude, know your place. That's what I'm shooting. That's what I'm shooting for. There's challenges around us right now. We don't know. We like I said, we have a new elected official in office right now. He's been there before. A lot of us don't like it. Some of us love it, blindly love it. You know what I'm saying? When I say blindly, I said literally blindly loving it because they don't know the liberties that they lost. I'm seeing certain ethnic groups crying, asking Black America to side with them. But where were you when Black America was being racially beaten up? Where were you? You said, I'm not Black. Remember what you said in your language and in English as well. I'm not Black.
Right.
But the majority of y'all is darker than me. So let's keep that in perspective, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that in perspective. Because don't bite the hand that always have your back. Because when you ask for that help, they're just going to look at you. And they'll remember what you said one time. What you said many times. One time. Nah, bro, you on your own. Adios.
Right.
Hasta luego, right? But yeah, we really get off track, but it is what it is. It was great to have JoeyG back on the show. Hopefully, we gotta do. There's one episode that's really in my craw right now. I hate to call the title "Toxic Mothers." I'm gonna think of a different title, but I want to talk about the treatment of mothers towards their children, especially their sons, and how their nurturing of their sons leads their sons to being incarcerated, being in trouble, not focusing on school. Because of their mental dysfunctions, or that the reliance on substances and things like that. We got to talk about that shit, and I feel that this is the podcast. We got to talk about it. It may offend people. If it offends you, it offends you. But this is why our kids are not graduating from school. It's one of the reasons why our kids are not graduating from school. Yes, they're deadbeat fathers. Yes, that is also part of it too. But some fathers are driven to be deadbeat fathers because of the toxicity of the mother. So let's not forget that. Let's not forget that. Like I said, it takes a village to raise a child, and what's lost in our community is that village. Instead of fighting over each other, oh, you can't touch my child, you can't discipline my child. Let's make it a village to raise our children to put them on the right path. That's what I grew up in. That's what JoeyG grew up in, a village.
Right.
Why can't we go back to that? That's all I'm saying. This all we got to get back. We got to get back. I can't wait till Power comes out. Razor Cannon and Power Book Force. Can't wait for them to come back. We haven't done a recap of Power in a long time. We haven't given our thoughts on it. We got to get back to that. That's the most important thing. Get back to that, and we go from there. So, any final thoughts, bro?
Well, we've touched on everything that we're going to touch on as far as right now. Don't get it twisted. We're still in the current events department, so we're going to bring you our critiques, our opinions with a moderated tone, just to protect the interest of our pockets.
Yes.
And not offend too much, not offend people too much, but try to give them an understanding of where we're coming from. I think that's important to us as far as how we present things to you. And hopefully you'll be able to digest it by the way we break it down for you. If not, there's other shows out there. I mean, we hate to lose you, but we're not the one source be all. So that's all I can say on that for now.
We're not here for we like I said, we're not gonna put up clickbait. We're not gonna do. If you don't like the show, you don't like the show. If you like the show, tell your friends about the show and get them to subscribe. Get me to 100. Get me to 100. At least 100 subscribers by the 7th year anniversary.
High fiving.
7th anniversary. At least do me that solid.
Right.
But like I said, we the range should be getting much more bigger, and we're gonna get to that very soon. We also want to feed you guys. I also want to do episodes about my projects that I was doing a long time ago, and now I feel that I have enough material to go back and doing that. It's all about put my time in to do it. I was trying to rewrite. JoeyG knows this. I try to rewrite Yu-Gi-Oh! In the sense, but more of the delving into the Caribbean, the culture, the culture of voodoo and all that shit. If JoeyG would tell you, it's a hell of a story. It's a hell of a story. So I would like to make it live action, So anybody who knows anybody to put that word out. If you want to see, I'm kind of afraid to give my writings. I have to copyright that shit, copyright or trademark that shit before they take my ideas and steal it. So, like I said, True Players Podcast, we back. That's it. Tell your friends. Any feedback, comments, and complaints, just email us at truplayazpodcast@gmail.com. It's TRUPLAYAZ podcast@gmail.com. Definitely send us your feedback. And you have any things that you disagree with, feel free to send that to us, but be respectful about it, because if you're disrespectful, I will block you. But keep it PG.
As Ricky King would say what you mean what you say, but don't be mean when you say it.
Exactly. So on that note, it's been Big Dom, JoeyG signing off for the podcast. Catch you on the next episode. Be blessed. Peace.